Hey everybody, welcome to Drag Chat. Don't adjust your sets. This week on RuPaul's Drag Race, they had Snatch Game, everyone's favorite episode. So Rosemary and I decided we'd dress up like celebrities too, but we're not going to impersonate them with our voices and that because our impersonations really suck. Anyways, I'm sure you've gathered I've come as Mae West. Now let's say hello to Rosemary and see who she is this week. Hello, Rosemary.
Hi, I am Miss Michelle Visage.
I can tell. Oh my gosh.
I wish I was as beautiful as she.
Oh my gosh. You look so much like her. What are you talking about? You're gorgeous. And I just love how those girls have found themselves this week. Hello to the twins. Anyways, we thought it would be fun to get dressed up as celebrities, and Rosemary wanted to take a crack at Michelle, and I didn't know who to do, so I just asked my roommate and asked a couple friends, and they're like, "Do Mae West." I'm like, "I can't do Mae West, but here I am doing Mae West." Oh gosh. So, what do you think about that, all you lovely boys and girls out there? See, I told you it was a terrible impression. Anyways, Rosemary, let's get to this week's episode. Let's start with workroom chit chat. Anything that you found interesting in the workroom this week, Rosemary?
Well, I didn't find it interesting. I just found it humorous. And that was when the girls were coming in after the elimination, and Violet Chachki made a comment about Kennedy Davenport's outfit, stating that Kennedy Davenport looked like Tony the Tiger on crack. I thought that was so appropriate.
Pardon the pun, but I thought it was great.
Yes, you would.
Yeah, I thought it was funny that they kind of agreed with us from last week that her dead chicken was just that, a dead chicken. It was just dead. Nobody could figure out what the fuck she was supposed to do or be or anything. So at least it wasn't just us and the rest of America. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was fun. There was a really personal moment in the workroom this week when Miss Katya was getting caught up in, her sobriety. Wow, she really laid some things out about being a former meth addict, alcoholic, cocaine abuser. And I thought it was so great that she was able to go to Miss Fame, who's also admitted being 9 years sober.
Yes.
And that these two found were able to take care of each other and help each other.
Yes. That was very impressive,
I
and it
was,
was very touching because, you'd be surprised at what these poor, drag queens go through their lives, in pursuit of a career or just being themselves, just living their lives, all the nonsense that they have to put up with. And in some cases it's very tragic, but it was nice that to see Miss Fame, embrace her and speak to her. And, they formed a little bond there. And I thought that was a beautiful thing to watch.
yeah, Miss Fame had said, counting the days in there was making it even difficult for her, even though she's been sober for 9 years. I thought it was just so wonderful that these
Hmm.
two were able to latch onto each other and to know that they're not alone. That they, if nothing else, they have each other.
Exactly.
Because the others are talking about drugs and they're talking about drinking and all that stuff, and it's got to be really hard. You
Hmm.
know what also has to be really hard for them? Working in that industry,
Yes.
because you're performing in nightclubs, and bars and that all the time. You're surrounded by liquor and
Hmm.
drugs all the time. It's got to be really hard. So one, I give Katya and Miss Fame, the kudos, bravo, for sticking to it, and I give kudos to Katya for seeking out Mrs. Fame or Mrs. Fame. She's not married yet, but with a bod like that, she will be soon.
Mm-hmm.
But I give her kudos for asking for help, because
Yes.
that takes a lot right there.
That takes a lot.
So,
And it takes a lot for someone to reach out and say, yeah, I'll help you, and not judge them, you know?
right. Oh, and there was no judgment whatsoever at
Mm-hmm.
all between them. It was a lovely, lovely, supportive moment, and makes me proud to be a queen when I see queens act like that,
Mm-hmm.
Makes me proud to be a person, actually.
Yeah.
Now where's my vodka? Oh no. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. Now, I do want to move into the main challenge, which was the Snatch Game. But before we get to the game itself, Miss RuPaul came into the workroom and created a little stirring of the pot, shall we say, herself. Especially when she found out that Miss Fame and Violet Chachki were both planning on doing the same character.
Mm-hmm.
And she told Miss Fame, you know, because Miss Fame was going to change her character because Violet was doing it. And then Rue is saying, no, 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 don't change it, stick to your guns. This is a competition.
Yeah.
I want to see a Donatella Versace war here is what I want. That's what she was really saying.
She was really stirring the pot. She really was. She was determined to make her admit that she's going to stick to her guns and, do Donatella Versace, even though she knew that Violet was within earshot.
Then she turns around and tells Violet to be Alyssa Edwards instead. It's like, Rue, what the hell are you doing? I was looking for a Versace war here. I really was. And then you change it all up on us. Like, come on, girl. Rue was having fun with a few people, though. And I think that's what stirred Katya up, was when Rue talked to her about what she's addicted to now is the anxiety.
Yes.
And I think that's what stirred up Katya,
Yeah.
to get her to the point where she reached out to Miss Fame.
Yeah.
So Rue really did stir a lot of things up in the workroom this week.
Yeah.
She was just being ruthless.
Good one.
Let's move on to the Snatch Game here. We had Max as Sharon Needles, Jaidynn Dior Fierce as Raven Simone, Katya as Susie Orman, Violet Chachki as Alyssa Edwards, Pearl as Big Ange, and Miss Fame ended up being Donatella Versace, Kenny Davenport went as Little Richard, which was extremely risky going as a boy instead of a woman, and then Ginger Minj went as the singer Adele. Now, any of these stand out for you in a good way or a bad way?
Oh, a lot of them stood out in a good way for me. I loved Ginger as Adele. I thought she was hysterical. Every time the camera touched on her, she had something funny going on. And that's exactly what the Snatch Game was all about. So I loved her. I didn't care too much for the fact that Kennedy chose to do a man for the Snatch Game, but she was funny.
Yeah.
I have to give her that. She was funny, but I have to take away for the fact that she chose to impersonate a man, which I thought was a no-no on RuPaul's Drag Race. I thought that Max captured Sharon Needles' appearance and look beautifully, perfectly. But unfortunately, that's where it remained. There was no comedy, and I love Max to death, but there was just no comedic timing. There was nothing there, just that the face was perfect.
Right.
Those were the part, and I like the Susan Orman portrayal. I thought she did her well, and she had some good one-liners there. And Raven was not so Raven, so Jaidynn dropped the ball on that one. And of course, Pearl did Big Ange, which is one of my favorite characters, and I thought nailed it perfectly.
Yeah. To go down the line, Max looked just like Sharon Needles. Impersonation comedy, wow, did that really suck?
Yeah.
I was so disappointed in her with that. I thought she would give us more. It was like somebody else was in Max's body as far as I was concerned. It wasn't her. And Jaidynn is Raven. I have a vision. I have a vision. Yeah, I have a vision too, honey. Bye.
I didn't get that. I didn't get that. And I loved when Ginger said in the little cutaway, she said, yeah, I have a vision that you're going to be eliminated. I love that girl.
I thought Katya was great as Susie Orman, especially with all the lesbian jokes that she was making. You know, one of the challenges in that game is when Ru, you know, cuts from the question and talks to them personally, and Ru's expecting, you know, a funny. Ru's the straight man in a duo at that point. He's giving the straight one-liners, and he's expecting the punchline to come out of the queen.
That's right.
You know, when he talks to them. So when he was talking to Katya, Susie, you know, she came back with these one-liners that were great. Like, can I afford to buy a yacht? No, honey, all you got to get is a rubber ducky. So she was great. Violet, I thought Violet did great as Alyssa Edwards.
Yes.
She looked like her, and she talked like her. She had her movements and her taglines. I thought she was great as her. So I was pleased with that. Big Ange, Pearl, I didn't know who Big Ange was, but I still loved the character. I'm like, I'll find out later who she is. I'm just going to enjoy her for right now. Miss Fame, she looked like Donatella Versace, and she was given the opportunity, but she just kind of dropped the ball on the comedy there.
Yeah.
So kind of flatline. Ginger, I'm skipping Kennedy. I'm going to Ginger. Ginger, I thought was great. She was funny. She had a great British accent. She was working with lovely. It was excellent.
I loved her.
Let's go back to Kennedy Davenport. Did not work for me. I did think she was funny. She had Little Richard's 2 taglines, you know, which is woo and oh, shut up.
Yeah,
you know, that's what he's known for.
Yeah.
But the makeup and the look was horrible. It was just terrible, 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 in my opinion. I thought it was terrible.
I thought so too. And you know, if you know Little Richard, he wears a pencil mustache, not, you know, curly pubic hair type mustache. It's a pencil thin mustache. You know, so I didn't care for it at all. She did him no justice. And I like Little Richard. I really do. She did him no justice.
I'm a huge Little Richard fan. I think he's so funny. I think he's more funny than he is a musician to me, because whenever I see him, all he does is just crack me up.
I would love to see him as a judge on the show.
Oh my gosh, that would be so funny. Can you imagine one of the queens trying to talk to him and go, oh, shut up. Look at her come down the runway. Woo!
Oh my God.
He'd be great.
He would. He would.
Ru, are you listening? Get Little Richard on the show. So, my dear Rosemary, what did you think of Ru's look this week?
I did not like it at all. I did not like that pleather look or the polyurethane or whatever the hell it was. I didn't like the neon green. I didn't like anything about the look. I didn't like the hair. I like the makeup, of course, you know, because that's always flawless. But he just didn't, I mean, she didn't do it for me this week. Absolutely nothing about the look.
I'm over here dying laughing because I want to ask you a question. Did you find it hashtag butt fucking ugly?
Yeah, I think I did. I was like, what the hell? I mean, didn't she look in the mirror before she walked out? No, I didn't like it at all.
I have to tell you.
I didn't like it at all.
I wasn't a fan of it. What it is, it's called color blocking, okay? The design of the colors and that. But the problem that I had with it, the lime yellow, lime green, you know, dress form, that fit her perfectly. But it was the red cutout on the side. It fit up until it got down to the waist, and then it wasn't connected to the yellow anymore. It flew on its own as its own material. And I didn't like how it was disconnected from the rest of the gown. The other thing I didn't like was the earrings were a completely different color than the red square on the dress. They were a pink. I would have thought it would have looked better if the earrings at least matched the color accent in the dress. So color blocking can really, really work, but it just didn't work on this one. I wouldn't go as far as saying butt fucking ugly as you just did.
Shh.
Oh, honey, it's too late now. But I'm going to have to say, you know, it just wasn't one of my favorite looks for her. She was beautiful, of course, and, you know, it kind of had a 60s vibe to it. And what that had to do in relation to the runway look for, you know, theme of the night,
Right.
I have no idea, you know. That made no sense to me.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
But RuPaul, she's kind of like me. You know, when I'm good, I'm good. When I'm bad, I'm better.
Here you go. I got to come up and see you sometime.
Oh, my little chickadee, you better come up and see me sometime. And bring some of those New Yorker men with you, too. You know, the ones with the money. Stop it. Anyways. The runway look. Leather and lace. Standouts? Dislikes?
Okay,
What you
well,
think?
I tell you, I like the idea because I love leather and lace, and I like the idea. I like most of the girls. I like Ginger. I loved her white leather and lace, and I was surprised that she wore the leotard kind of look that I don't like, but she carried it out. I mean, she pulled it off. Let me say,
Yeah.
She looked great. I thought she looked adorable. Her face was perfect. Her little petite body. You know, I loved everything about it. Of course, I loved what Pearl had on. I mean, she's just a knockout. She's absolutely
Really?
beautiful. Yeah, I
Really?
liked what Pearl had on. Yeah.
I swear we've seen that already.
Yeah, we kind of
And-
did. We kind of did, but I don't know. I just think it's so fashion forward. You know, when she wears stuff like
I didn't
that.
really. Okay, well, that's your opinion. I didn't really care for it though. So,
Yeah.
but that's your opinion.
I didn't care for Kennedy's look, and I don't know why the judges raved about it. I hated her hair. You know, they mentioned Diana Ross. Let me tell you something. That was no Diana Ross. The
Oh,
dress,
no, not
I
at all.
didn't like the dress. I didn't like the hair. I didn't like anything about that runway look. And she was getting all this praise. So it kind of leaves me a little
I know.
suspect that, you know, she's being pushed just like Jaidynn is, because I just couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. I mean, I watched it twice because I wanted to see what am I missing, and I couldn't see
Right.
what I was missing. I didn't like it.
I don't either. I didn't either. I didn't care for it, especially that hairline that she had, and no, wasn't one of my favorite looks for the week. That's for sure.
Yeah, not my favorite. I loved Violet Chachki, the dominatrix look. I wish I had that body. I'd be wearing that outfit all the time. She looked hot, let me tell you.
Yeah, it was hot from the waist up, but then from the waist down, it was just a boy wearing female lingerie. And you know how I feel about that. So
Yeah.
it's like, come on. But from the waist up, oh yeah, I was digging it. When she came out, you know, they only showed her from the waist up, you know, with the gag on her face and everything. And I was like, yeah. And then they cut to the legs and the ass. I'm like, oh, fuck you. Goodbye. It's like, really? Really? The other one I thought was a really good standout was Miss Fame.
Yes.
I thought that was good. The hair, though, to me, it was a shake and go wig. You know, straight out of the box wig.
Yeah.
You know, it should have been teased a little bit. It should have been, you know, styled a little bit. But as far as the face and the outfit, you know, I thought she brought to the table what she was supposed to, which was leather and lace. So, yeah. And Ginger was cute. I agree with you on that. Her little, what she call it, Elvis Presley?
Yeah.
Priscilla
She's so cute.
Presley? Or
I like where she was going with it. You know, I thought she pulled it off. Even before she said the Elvis Presley thing, when I saw the jacket and the hair, it reminded me of that. So when she said that, I said, oh, okay, I see where she was going with that. It was cute. She pulled it off.
It was. She's adorable. What can you say? Well, as we know, the bottom two this week ended up being Jane Dior Fierce again, and our lovely Max was in the bottom. What do you think of this bottom two, Rosemary?
Made me cry. Made me cry. But I did not
Uh,
agree. I did not agree with Max being in the bottom. And the reason why I didn't agree with that was because I felt that Kennedy's look was not that great. Of course, they thought it was great, but I thought it sucked. And I didn't care for the fact that she impersonated a man on the Snatch Game. So for those two reasons, I felt that she should have been at the bottom with Jaidynn. And Max should have been saved
mm-hmm.
because Max did everything that the judges told her to do. She changed her look. Okay, she was not that great at the Snatch Game, but she looked flawless. She nailed Sharon Needles. She just didn't have, the comedy. Maybe,
Right.
I'm a little bit biased because I do, like Max, but I just felt that there were other people that were worse than her, and I thought Kennedy was worse than her.
Yeah. Um, I think Michelle Visage jinxed Max.
Yes.
The first time she comes on the runway without her gray hair, boom, she's in the bottom, and boom,
Yeah.
then she's gone.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I think Michelle jinxed her. Michelle Visage jinxed Max. Thank you, Michelle.
I agree. I agree.
But I still don't think that she should have been the bottom. Um, as far as the challenge goes, she was bad. It was bad.
Mm-hmm.
The look was great, but everything else about it was bad in Snatch Game. Her look was great. She gave us Max, and she gave us Max with the different color hair.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
She did what they asked for. My bottom two would have been Jaidynn, well, for sure, because let's face it, that runway look that she had was just atrocious.
Ay, Dios mío, she
And
doesn't get it. She just doesn't get it.
and then her Snatch Game, her Raven, wasn't great either. As far as the other one, I would have put Kennedy there. I don't think that Kennedy was as great in Snatch Game as they made her out to be.
Mm-hmm.
And her runway look, I'm not getting what they saw at all about that. I
No.
just don't get it at all. So that would have been my bottom two. But then when they announced that Max was going home, oh no, you've got to be kidding me.
Mm-hmm.
She is so much more original than, some of these other queens. Why? I just didn't get it. Didn't get it.
Yeah.
And from what I'm seeing on the internet, nobody else got it either. So
Yeah. Yeah.
the winner of the Snatch Game Challenge ended up being two winners for the very first time in Ru history. Or should I say Ru herstory? Being Ginger Minj and Kennedy Davenport. Fuck Kennedy Davenport. She sucked. I hated it. Ginger was the clear winner. Let's leave it at that and just go on, shall we? Okay, your turn, Rosemary.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree. There was no reason to have two winners there. None whatsoever. Ginger nailed it. I mean, top to bottom. She was phenomenal on the Snatch Game. Every single time the camera hit her, she didn't even have to say anything. She was doing funny shit like eating, smoking a cigarette, I mean, she was just great. She was great. How could they even compare her to Kennedy? That pissed me off to no end. It pissed me off when they announced Kennedy winning, and I'm like, what? And then they said, it should have been the other way around. It should have been Ginger first. And then if they wanted to, throw a bone to Kennedy, fine. But they made it sound like it was an afterthought. There shouldn't have been anybody else standing next to Ginger. I was very upset with that.
I agree. Totally. Well, I said it obviously. Fuck that. Fuck it. Ginger should have won it hands down and alone.
Yeah.
Solo. That was it. I said last week I was looking for a solo challenge. This was a solo challenge. And it should have been awarded to a solo, singular person. And
exactly.
Nah.
Exactly.
So, but anyways. Oh, Rosemary, who was your drag cat look of the week? Now, wait, before you say anything. Are you doing just look? I have to tell you, I've gotten a couple messages, and people are asking me, are you guys doing just the look of the week, or are you doing overall character? Because it says on the screen, drag cat and drag rat looks of the week, but then we're doing other things. So, are we doing just look, or are we doing overall here?
We're gonna do. I guess it's overall for me. Listen, I'm a woman.
Right,
I
you
have my
stop.
prerogative to change my mind any fucking time I want, all right? So today, it could be the look of the week, and next week it could be, the overall. How's that a Michelle Visage for you?
Okay, all right. Well, let me reintroduce this then. All right, everybody. This is the part of the show where Rosemary and I pick our drag cat and our drag rat looks of the week. However, Miss Rosemary sometimes doesn't play by the books and pick just her look. She likes to pick an overall character. I never know what the fuck is going to come out of her mouth next, so let's find out what she's doing this week. Rosemary, it's time for the drag cat. Are you giving us a drag cat look of the week or just a drag cat overall performance this week?
I think I'm going to give you an overall performance this week. And my little kitty cat this week is Pearl. And the reason why I picked Pearl is because I thought she nailed Ange. And I thought she also nailed the runway. I know that you didn't care for her runway look, but I liked her runway look.
Yeah. I didn't care for the runway, and I probably would have enjoyed her Big Ange more had I known who Big Ange was. But, after finding out who she was and then rewatching it again, I got the joke. I just did the first time, and that was just because of my own naivety. You know how innocent I am, darling. Yeah, right. Okay. Now, my drag cat look of the week, and that would be look and not overall performance, was Katya. When she walked out in her leather and lace and all that black and that flowing lace and her face, I can't get over this girl. Yeah. She's just beautiful, and what she wore was what the theme was all about, and I just loved it. So she was my drag cat look of the week.
Okay.
But she also did a great performance in Snatch Game, too. I mean, it wasn't a winning performance, but she was good. But I'm just saying, based on the look, when I like my first reaction when they walk out onto that runway, for the runway theme. Mm-hmm. And when she walked out, I was like, wow. When you could stop me and make me say, wow, there you go. And even tonight, I'm wearing a little bit of what she wore, as I'm sure you'll see. Anyways, let's move on to the drag rat. Who needs to go sit out back by the fucking dumpster and eat the moldy cheese? Who's your drag rat this week? And I bet I know who it is.
Oh, my God. I give you 10 guesses.
Wait. Shall we say this is her 5th time in 7 weeks to be drag rat?
Oh, my goodness gracious. I should just tape this, and just play the tape over. Jaidynn.
So,
Jaidynn was my drag rat. I did not like her Raven. I didn't care for her runway look. She got the leather part, but she didn't get the lace. I mean, she had like some strip across her chest. I don't know. I didn't like it at all. So she's in the bottom again.
Atrocious. Honey, if she wore that over at my house, I would tell her to leave and never come back to see me again. Ever. That was so ugly. Oh my gosh. What kills me is from the neck up. I mean, the hair. Oh my gosh, I love the hair because there just must have been 45 wigs nestled up inside that thing, to make that hair. Mm-hmm. And her face, again, flawless, beautiful. From the neck up, she was gorgeous. But from the neck down, honey, moldy cheese, dumpster, now, bye. Rosemary, my darling, I know that one of your favorites for the top 3 was eliminated this week, and that was Miss Max.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that your top 3 has rearranged itself a little bit. Who have you got for your top 3 predictions going for the crown?
Well, my top 3 are Pearl, and Pearl has been on my top 3 for a while now. I just love her look. And Miss Fame, I love that face. I think it's going to take her far. And Ginger, I love my Ginger. So those are my top 3
I know
this
you
week.
do. Okay, well, my top 3, well, it changed because Max is gone. But the other 2 are still the same. I've got Ginger and I've got Katya. And to tell you the truth, in my honest opinion, I think it's going to come down to those 2. I really do. But my third one, I have moved Miss Fame back up for 2 reasons. One, her makeup is always flawless. You know, she always gives us a great look. The other reason is she is really trying to absorb and learn and grow. And I've been saying that for a few weeks now, and it's starting to show. You know, she's taking the critiques, you know, with a grain of salt, and she's accepting them, and she's, you know, learning from them and moving forward. So I'm going to put her up in the top 3 right now, just based on that. But my other 2 are still the same, with Katya and Ginger struggling it out for the crown.
Yeah.
But we'll see. You never know. We didn't think Max would go home this early, and she's gone. Now, surprise, surprise, surprise. Oh my gosh, I just did a Gomer Pyle impression.
Mae West Gomer Pyle.
Surprise, surprise, surprise. Anyways, Ru made the announcement. Now they were down to 7, but she wanted to bring back 1 more to make it an even 8 for next week's challenge. Who will it be? We don't know. Ru's going to bring back one of the girls. I have a feeling I know who it's going to be, but I'm not going to say because I really don't want to put my foot in my mouth. So now, apparently, what you have to do to vote for this is on your Twitter, your Tumblr, and Instagram and all that. You have to hashtag Bring Back My Queen, and then hashtag Team Max, hashtag Team Trixie, hashtag Team Kasha, Team Sasha, to all the way down, you know, the line to all the girls that have been eliminated. And if you go to logotv.com and look at the square that says hashtag Bring Back My Queens, you can click on there and watch the results happening live as they're going on to see who's in the lead. We'll find out on Monday, though, who Ru chooses. Until then, you do us all a favor, including me, my darling. And a lovely Michelle Visage over there in New York. You have a great week, you have lots of fun, and you get home safe. And then you come up and see me sometime. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Before we go, you do this old girl a favor. You subscribe and you comment. If you like what we said, let us know. If you don't like what we said, let us know. What did you think of the bottom 2? What did you think of Max going home? What did you think of the winners, Ginger and Kennedy? What did you think of Snatch Game? Who was your favorite on Snatch Game? What did you think of RuPaul's gown? What did you think of every single second that happened from beginning to end? Please let us know! We'd love to hear from you. Subscribe. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook. We love you. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at DragChat.
Follow us on Facebook.
Don't forget to subscribe by clicking below.